Okay. All right. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the August 5th Charter Commission meeting. We'll start, as always, with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So for the dozens of people watching at home, they obviously know I'm not Tony Weinstein. I'm Vice Chair Phil Nazaro. Tony Weinstein is participating remotely, which I believe we need a vote to allow her to participate remotely. Is that correct? I've done that in other meetings, yeah. So I will accept a motion to allow Chair Weinstein to participate remotely.
Second.
All
Who
right.
was the first? I heard John a second.
I think Al first.
There were 2 seconds, and so we have a third.
Al, you're going to get credit. Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to 0. We also have to note that our Secretary Hawkins is unable to attend today.
Excused.
Yeah.
Excused absence, yep. And Commissioner Reynolds has very politely and perhaps not begrudgingly accepted to take the minutes. So thank you for doing that, Patrick. So I will move on to our next item, which is public comment. Any member of the public wish to comment?
Question?
Yes.
I need to go to the mic.
Yes, have to come to the mic. Sorry, they can't hear you otherwise at home.
State your name.
Name,
Frank.
serial number. Streets enough.
I am Jim Moffett. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Is this the first meeting? Because I only got notice of this week, or excuse me, the end of last week in
Our
the
fourth regular meeting.
fourth regular meeting. And how many more are scheduled?
So we meet every other week on Tuesday at 7 o'clock. So, and we're going to meet straight up to, we're due to have the draft to the Secretary of State by October 30th.
October 30th. Thank you very much.
Other public comment? Seeing none, I will move on to our next agenda item, which is acceptance of minutes. I'll accept a motion to accept the July 22nd, 2025 meeting minutes.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Al and John are going to get into it. Motion by Dan,
Yeah.
second by John. We'll give a second to John.
Okay.
Any discussion?
I didn't see anything.
Excellent. With that, all those in favor of approving the meeting minutes?
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm abstaining, I wasn't here at the meeting.
Motion passes 7 to 0 to 1.
Got
With
it.
Commissioner Bentley abstaining because he was not in attendance. We will now move on to the fourth item on the agenda, the Backyard Bash follow-up. Who would like to speak to that? I know I stopped by the tent and talked to several of you. But Patrick, do you want to, John?
Oh,
Yeah.
Tony, you want to speak to
No,
that?
we were both there for the first hour, the setup in the hour. I mean, I know, we had a few people write out their survey. We had a couple others scan it. I think there was a total of 5. Is that true, Tony?
That sounds about right. Yeah, 5 written ones. And I don't know how many people scanned it, but
Definitely that one couple that talked to us for quite a while scanned, so maybe not the numbers we all wanted. It was very, very, number one, congratulations to everyone who pulled everything off. That was, I talked to, the other night, the rec director, and she said 3,200 people there. So very family oriented, so there was not a lot of people, and probably some of the ones that wanted to come and look had kids in tow. I had a grandson in tow, so it wasn't everything that I had hoped it'd be, but I think it was still good to get out there. Tony here.
and I think Patrick's game was a big hit too.
We gave out a lot of candy.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
So
especially in the 3 to.
associate the Charter Commission with free candy. Which, that'll help our popularity.
Maybe something for October 31st we should think about.
Yeah.
Trick
Anything
or
else?
treat, Charter Commission. Oh,
So thank you to all the commissioners that had the opportunity or that volunteered. I know it took personal time, so really appreciate everyone that participated in that. So now to I think the meat of the agenda, item 5, which is the charter review. So Tony, even though you're virtual, I don't know, like, as the chair, I want to defer to you a little bit, like on your vision for the charter review as you put the agenda together. Is that all right?
Yeah, I mean, what I was kind of envisioning was that we would just go chapter by chapter. I know that there are some bigger issues that we probably want to skip and wait until we have the results of the survey. But really making sure that we're in compliance with state law, if there's any glaring omissions or, irregularities. That's what I imagined, but it's open to discussion for sure.
Other thoughts?
I guess what I thought we were gonna do, maybe we're not, was just literally a page flip of going through it. I know I've been through it and highlighted a number of things that either read weird or maybe it's missing a word or at least worth looking at. I don't know if other people have a similar laundry list.
I know that we were asked to review the charter before the meeting so that we didn't come in cold turkey, like taking a look at it. So there's the page by page approach. Go ahead, Tony. You're going to say something? You look like you're going to say something.
I'm just agreeing with Dan, whether it's page by page, chapter by chapter,
Yeah.
but that approach exactly is what we talked about at our last meeting.
Yeah. Any objections to that approach?
No?
no.
Okay. Here's going to come, and here's where I think our secretary, when he returns, is going to have to, we're going to have to, whereas the minutes have been pretty light up to this point, he's probably going to have to watch the meeting to keep track of all the adjustments that we're making. Because as we're talking about adjustments we want to make sure they get incorporated into the document.
Yeah, I would just remind everybody, like, find a microphone near you and
Yep.
lean into it when you talk
Yeah.
to make sure it comes through.
All right. With that, I think we should also note there's some areas like section 1.2 where we just don't, I think, have the information if we want to make that adjustment yet. So I think we'll just make note of ones we need to go back to when we come back around, given the survey is still open.
Based on the suggestion, maybe we want to say if there's something that's going to be a large discussion at this point in time, do some revisit on the survey.
Yeah, I think that we don't want to go into like, what form of government do we want until we hear from the survey and get all those results. That would seem somewhat disingenuous to the survey process to
Agreed.
say, give us your voice, but we've already made our decision.
Yeah, but it probably makes perfect sense as we go through it to say, let's put a pin in this section, let's
Yes.
put a pin in this
Yeah.
section.
All right. So with that, page 2.1 has the start of the Article 1, which is the incorporation form of government and power. It starts with the incorporation section.
Can we put it up on the screen?
That's a great point. Is there a way we can mirror some? Can someone downstairs on channel 13 come upstairs and help us mirror this onto the
Just
screen?
give them a call and see if they can do that.
What's their number?
It should be on there. I think is it 1325?
I'll give it a try.
Martha Edmonds.
I can't remember. I might be wrong.
It's
I
just
might
a
have to go
poll,
down and ask. But I think it makes sense to put it up there
Yeah.
so that people who are watching, if they are watching, can follow along.
I hear them coming.
I'm just getting voicemail.
Yeah, they're coming. Thank you. There's a desire for us to take the charter and project it up here as we're going through it. Is it?
Stop.
Yes.
In order to do that,
Yeah.
you have to join the Zoom
I
and do
got-
it that way, and share a screen.
Do you have a Zoom link? Where is it?
Yeah. So the Zoom link,
Gosh, you're gonna give me something to type out, aren't you?
And it's probably in the agenda, isn't it?
No, because it was sent this morning.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's the meeting ID on the passcode. Okay.
Yep.
It's 1321 is what I should have done.
What's that?
Is that the extent? I'm reading a handwritten note on
I knew it was 13
on a Post-it.
something. Sure left a message for whoever's at 1325.
Hi, this is the Charter Commission.
They got
We're
voicemail,
real
somebody.
I might be the planning department.
So people are going to be literally sitting at home watching us try to log into a Zoom. This is fun. This is must-see TV, people.
You have to love it. All right, you got everything?
All right, nope, I'm just getting into my account.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Of course.
Congratulations, by the way,
Um,
on this new technology. It's been a long time coming.
It happened. And we got everything going, so, yeah.
Meeting.
Knock on wood.
We'll get our listenership up to where it should be now.
Well, I mean, we have quite a few. So that's one thing I will say about Newmarket, the residents are definitely heavily involved and interested in what's going on. Always been a good thing. Even with the school board.
Hey, why wouldn't they be?
I agree, that's where it should be.
We're cool, really.
Come on. There's
That's not
meeting
the
password.
script I would use.
866.
Sorry, Phil, I know you guys wanted this.
No, it's fine. It was an audible we called during the meeting. Hello. People don't need to see that. Right, so I need to join the meeting and then share my screen.
So Hillary should be, or Hillary Jeff should be letting you in, and then you should be good to go.
Thanks a lot, too.
Thank you.
As always.
Oh, that.
What's your phone number before you go?
1321.
1321.
It is written over there.
It's on a Post-it note that was behind.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to continue without audio. Share my screen, and I'm going to choose. God, I have a lot of tabs open. I was not prepared for this one. Share this one.
Tony, how you doing?
I'm good.
Problem is I can't switch tabs because all this stuff is in the way.
Say what?
I'm trying to switch tabs, but I can't see the top because all that stuff's in the way.
Control tab will sometimes pop you from one to another
Why is that moving so slow up there?
because it lags. Sitting here saying you have one pair
Control
of
tab.
glasses to see far, one to see near, and
It just opens a new tab.
Control tab.
Yep.
Tab will take you through every app that you have open. One of the
I don't want that.
Release the alt key until you find the.
There it is.
There we go.
Okay.
Control T. There we are.
Okay. Just
Thank you, everyone.
so we can
Okay, I can't
get
read
as
it
big as
anyway, so
possible.
we'll go to those.
All right, I will try to make this somewhat bigger. But it's-
Control plus. Oh, that does it too. I feel
All
like
right,
we're that
people.
old Apple
That's great.
commercial.
As big as it's gonna get.
Okay.
So,
Can you do one more?
I can try. Without making it go off the screen.
No. Just make the actual window that you have bigger.
I don't think Zoom will let you do that.
Yeah,
won't
Zoom,
let him do it.
Zoom has got me kind of boxed into a corner.
Yeah, I think that's where we
Okay.
pretty good.
All right.
All right,
That's
I
fine.
think that's good. Okay. All right. So, I don't think we're going to change our date of incorporation, so I think we probably can move on to 1.2 unless anyone has any adjustments there.
So 1.2, the fourth line, shouldn't that say various departments of the town as established from time to time? Just a weird way to say it, as established time to time by the town council.
I don't find it.
I don't find it
Shall
odd.
consist
Yeah.
of the
All right.
various departments of the town as established Yeah, I don't even know why do you need time to time? What is that trying to say in there?
I think it's trying to indicate that, like, it's not like they're not out there constantly establishing new ones, but yeah, it's an odd way
They
to
have
say
the
that.
power to do
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, I mean, it's just they have the ability to establish.
So
Strike time to time.
I do, but I think,
Periodically.
I think we need to remember this. Any edit we make to this goes into a warrant change, right? Are we able to do, are we able to make like one big change in one warrant, or like every paragraph we edit, or every section we edit requires its own warrant? Article, sorry, not warrant article.
It seemed to me if you're changing the meaning, you would
Well,
need
let's-
to put it on the warrant.
Let's put our edits in, and then we can get
Then we can
that
get the
in.
like,
Yeah.
because if it's gonna be like, there's gonna be a warrant to change time to
Right.
time to periodically, I'd be like,
Right.
let's maybe not, okay.
Yeah.
So we wanna change time to the conversation now periodically?
Or from, either one.
Does anyone have a strong opinion?
No pride of ownership, either way works fine, just,
Get rid of 3 words and put one there, periodically.
Yeah, that
Okay.
probably makes the most sense.
Periodically, can everyone live with periodically?
Yeah.
yes.
I'm not doing a formal motion, okay. Any other issues with section 1.2 or edits?
No.
All right. Section 1.3.
Yeah, what is it referring to in section 1.1? Section 1.1 doesn't deal with powers at all. I'm wondering if that reference is meant to refer to something else. If you read section 1.1,
I think it's referring to it being a body corporate and politic. That it has, by incorporating in section 1.1, it gets according to RSA's, a bunch of authorities to do something.
Well, it's particular powers, right? You can't make particular powers that are in conflict with the general powers.
But I think what I hear, Dan, you saying is that,
Yeah.
how is section 1.1 establishing general powers?
okay, if that's.
Is that the question
if that's
you're
what-
asking?
If that's what, it says, general powers of the municipality as stated in section 1.1. Section 1.1 doesn't state anything about powers, it's just saying that we're a body public.
Can we circle that as a question for the lawyer?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's-
what I put down is what's the purpose of 1.1? Can we get an opinion?
I mean, my worry was that in some previous iteration of this document, section 1.1 said something different.
Okay, at some point, yeah.
Yeah.
Any other edits to 1.3?
No.
Section 1.4.
No.
Concerns? Section 1.5, school district.
Now, this was the part that was changed at the last, correct? This was changed during the last part, that last sentence?
I think
Last
so.
10 years
That's
ago?
correct, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see any problem with it as it's written.
Look at that. Article 1 done. Here it is, moving by. Article 2, elections, election officials, and conduct of elections. So section 2.1 is the composition of the Board of Elections. Concerns about the moderator, supervisor, and town clerk.
No.
Section 2.1, we are good. Section 2.2, duties of the town moderator, elected on a 2-year basis.
This is the one where, was there discussion about whether 2 years is too short, too long? Is that,
I think the discussion was that the way the school's rules are written, it's every year, I believe.
Okay.
So
That-
that election's happening annually, and this one's happening biannually. And as of late, although this has not been forever, the moderator has been the same for both the town and the school.
All right, so there's no issue then with 2 years for the town, right?
Yeah, I was thinking of making it 3 to look like town council, but then the supervisors are only 2 years. I thought that's where the 2 years came from.
Well, the supervisors, there's 6 years, but they're staggered by 2 years.
Well, but each one is 2.
No, I think they hold it for 6 years, but they're like the Senate, a third of them every
Oh, I see,
2
right,
years.
right.
Yeah, I mean, is there,
Well, they make it through at 3 years. I
this is
would
where I
agree.
wish our secretary was here as our current town moderator.
Yeah. Well,
Let's-
he
why
every 2 years he runs, right?
Yeah.
Let's put a pin
And see.
in 2.2, and we'll at least get some feedback from the current town moderator.
Section 2.3, supervisors of the checklist. 3 supervisors, 6-year appointment, or 6-year positions, staggered elections, so every 2 years you're getting a new one. Any concerns?
Makes sense.
All right, moving on. Section 2.4, duties and sessions of the supervisor of the checklist. Seems very clear, that sentence,
Yeah.
just basically redundant to New Hampshire statute. All right, section 2.5, conduct of elections. Any issues with this?
Again, it looks like state.
Pretty boilerplate.
Yeah.
Is there anything in state law about the hours of the election? I mean, here it's deferring to the town council to set them. I'm trying to remember if 7 to 7 is a statewide thing, or
No,
if that's...
we used to be 7 to 7, and then the state, I think, changed it, so you could actually be 7 to 6 or something, and Tony, do you recall? I think it's when we were on council together with John now.
I think, we used to be open 7 to 8.
8, that's right.
And then we changed it to 7 to 7. I think that the mandatory hours are 11 to 6, or something like that by state law. So we go above and beyond state law.
Does that mean if you're in line by 7, or do we actually close the
Yeah,
doors?
in line.
In line by 7,
Yeah.
right?
They go out and stop.
Yep.
And the moderator, I think, has been pretty, like,
Correct.
open, like, having been there at the closing several times, like, they're, like, if there's someone's, like, coming in at 7, like, they let them vote. They always err on the side of the voter.
Yeah, if they're in line, that's,
Yeah,
They
no,
go
that's
through.
what I
I've seen
thought.
it
I just
several
wanted
times,
to,
yeah.
I didn't see it there. I don't know if it needs to be there, but that was my only question.
So the hours aren't in here, right?
Right.
So the town
No.
council sets the hours,
Okay.
so like, I wonder, yeah.
You can throw the perfunctory, within the limits of state law onto it, but
yeah, that's,
I don't know how, I mean, they have to operate within the state
that's
law.
a priori,
anyway.
right? I mean, they have to do that
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah, we're not a home rule state. If the state changes the law, we have to.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds like no edits.
No edits. 2.6, preparation of ballots. Any concerns with 2.6?
You know, the one thing that,
Yeah.
just going back to 2.6, something to consider is where it says without party designation on the third line. And I only say that because I know that there were bills this past year to change that, and I'm sure that there will be bills again, and if we, I mean, just to make sure that we stay in compliance with state law, we could strike that. I don't know if we want to, but it could change, like the state law could change at some point in the future. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I hear
Yeah,
you,
it
Tony. I
does.
feel like it's a future Charter Commission's concern if we're out of alignment at a later date, because we are in alignment with the current state law.
Okay.
That's just my thought, though. I'm not
And
like,
I wouldn't want to do anything to encourage that.
Yeah.
I really wouldn't.
I agree.
Yeah,
It's hard enough to get people to run.
I know, yeah. Oh, yeah, given the challenge we have getting people to
Yeah.
run for certain offices, adding that might even increase concerns about.
yeah.
No, that's valid.
All right. Preservation of ballots, any concern with that? 2.7.
No. Seems to be in line with state law, is something we have
There
to
you go.
agree with.
Yeah.
Section 2.8, contested elections. Feels very, again, in alignment with state law.
Yeah.
Yep. Still say you should have a two-man sack race for.
It says
Two-person-
determined by lot,
two-person
as
sack race.
determined by the town clerk. The town
Yes.
clerk
Yeah.
can decide to do.
Right.
Um,
Sack race.
Section 2.9, display of campaign materials at polling places.
State statutes.
Yeah.
All right. All right, we are just moving through here, but I feel like we are about to hit something that might bring discussion. Article 3, the town council. So, memberships and term of office.
I mean, membership and term of office, that would be one where I'd want to see the survey results, because that, I mean, we explicitly asked about the length of terms.
Yeah.
I don't really have a bias one way or the other. I can't imagine that anything would work better than 7, because I've never seen someone try something other than 7. But 9 might be a panacea. We just don't have any way to know.
And the 3-year term of office would be, at least from my perspective, a minimum term.
You just figure it out your third year.
Yeah, I agree with
Third
you.
year, you're pedaling the bike.
It takes a while.
Yeah.
So you want to check mark it or pin it until we see survey results, just to,
Pin it for survey results?
That's what I wrote down.
Okay. The organizational meeting?
Hey, Phil?
Yes.
One,
sorry.
that section.
Yes.
So, the way I read it, there's a conflict in 3.1B and then 3.2. So it says, all members shall take office on the first Monday following the second Tuesday in March on B. But then the councilors so chosen shall meet in their capacity as the council on the first Monday in April. Am I wrong thinking that that's?
No, that is very accurate. Huh.
Because I know that we changed that a bunch of years ago, so that it would happen in April, that the new counselors would be seated. But maybe we just missed the section.
So it was amended in 2011, but then there's that note after 3.2, mins of 3/10/2020. What was that, like 3/10/2020? Was that an election?
I'm
Yeah.
not sure, I
That would
know
be
that we
about the
changed
right
it, and
time.
I think it was on a warrant to change. It must have been.
Yeah. So what is current practice? Is it the organizational meeting happening the first Monday of April, or the first Monday following the election?
So it's happening in April
Okay.
now. It was happening immediately following the election.
I see what you're saying. So is there like a lame duck turn for the people
Yeah.
that got elected that are no longer on the council,
Oh,
but the organizational meeting doesn't return to that. That makes, yeah. What do people think?
They should just align with one another. I mean, the most recent one they edited was 3.2, so 3.1B should probably align with it. Unless, I mean, the school district, we take office the first meeting after the election.
Yeah.
I don't know that that improves or detracts from anything. It's just different.
Why did we move everything to the first Monday in April?
I'm wondering, it's not that the council doesn't have a role in that period, it's simply the organizational members aren't identified. Does that make sense?
So here's what, go ahead, Tony, go ahead.
I think the idea at the time was to give
Right.
that space, and allow people to get trained and get new counselors up to speed, rather than just throwing them in.
I think
That was
that,
my understanding.
and as well, to understand who the people are that are going to be leading that council, give them a period of time to do it, if I'm making sense.
The counselors to get to know each other before they serve?
No, in other words, take this commission here. We got voted in as a group, we know who we were gonna be serving with. But we didn't have the organizational meeting until after we had that information, which I think is helpful to identifying.
So the organizational meeting used to be the first Monday, the first meeting's the first Monday following the election. That's when the organizational used to be, which is what section 3.1B kind
Right.
of suggests. So, yeah, John.
But we didn't have a real meeting, right? When we were on it way back, we came and it was hi, you got sworn and we left. We didn't go through an agenda.
Yeah, but then like that next Wednesday was a meeting.
What's that?
Then like that next Wednesday was a meeting, right? Like,
correct,
so it was like.
Right, but
So-
now it's an actual meeting on the first one, right?
No, it's an organizational meeting, but according to this timing, there should be one town council meeting with the old council in between the election and the
Yeah, but they don't
organizational
elect
meeting.
officers.
Yeah, they just have a regular meeting.
Yeah, but usually the people who are elected attend as visitors or
And
guests.
like see, so.
Yeah, I think that, I don't know, but that was.
That's
I
exactly
don't-
what happens with the planning board, the same thing. So they have the election, you have one more meeting with the old members, the new members usually do show up. It also gives those exiting people a chance to be recognized for
Yeah.
their service. And then the next month in April, organizational meeting, new members.
I was thinking the same, because you could run and lose. I ran, I
Right.
lost, I don't even get to say goodbye, or no one gets to say thank you, or. So
See ya.
maybe that's.
Yeah. Okay, so it sounds like in that conflict, we're in favor of sticking with what organizational meeting, section 3.2 says, of doing the first Monday in April. So we should amend section 3.21B
Yeah.
to align to that first Monday in April, when they'll take office.
Right. Good call out, Tony.
Thanks, Tony. All right. Any other edits to 3.2B? Sorry, or 3.2?
Nope.
3.3, elections of chair and vice chair.
Seems to work to me.
Yeah, I've yet to see any concern with this process. All right.
Usually turns into a game of not it.
And back in the day, they were hotly contested. Section 3.4, and I'm not trying to go too quickly here, but I'm also trying not to just lag. If there's no comments, I'm trying to move along here. So, Section 3.4, qualifications of counselors.
it just feels, public conduct, the result of which would bring loss of respect for the council or the town of Newmarket. It's incredibly vague. And very, very subjective.
The issue, I think, can also be, though, if you start to specify, if you don't specify everything, then it gives you an out. I mean, at this point, saying you're going to treat people with respect and then defining everything that you would want in respect, rather than just leaving it respect and saying it's the judgment of the people as to what respect means.
So, the phrase, the word that jumps out to me in that one is guilty of public conduct. Who is determining guilt? The court of law?
I mean, in this case, I would read it to say that if a majority of the council deems them guilty.
No, guilty sounds a little too legal.
Yeah, I mean, I see the word guilty, and I'm like, you're convicted of something.
I mean, I think of the situation right now in Rochester with the school board. This is a perfect, in my reading of it, verbiage to cover that kind of situation. Gives enough flexibility to make a judgment as to public performance and so forth.
And
But
this
I-
hasn't been changed in the past.
No, this is sort
There's
of.
no notes
No.
on it.
Yeah.
I mean, you could tweak it to say has engaged in public conduct, as opposed to, if you take the word guilt out of it, then it doesn't sound like something needs to have been adjudicated.
I mean, doesn't that turn the council into a bit of a court in determining, has this person engaged in something that hits the threshold of bringing loss of respect to the council?
But I think it's needed.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not needed. I'm saying, like, what is the threshold with which we want to provide the council that authority? Like, what we don't want to do is provide the council authority to be like, hey, we don't like this person, so we're going to say they did this thing and push them off.
Well, you can put words in like gross, but it still has the same issue.
Well,
And
It's
I mean,
definitely-
You could just say of public conduct that results in the loss of respect. You could get rid of guilty of.
Yeah.
It's
Mike,
still,
go ahead.
still
Sorry.
subjective.
It's still subjective.
There's no getting around that, because the council is not a court, so they can't convict anybody. They can just, it's strictly a decision that they're making. It's basically a grounds for removals, that they have it.
I'm also thinking of the fact that the council is not always the same, so that may change, whatever the reason the council who pulls the trigger on this particular thing decides is a violation that they can agree on, is that council. But that may not be a consistent thing for a town council 2 or 3 years after. So, it sort of suggests, though, that the town council is the decider in this.
I think
Is
it
it not?
very clearly states this.
Yeah.
The council is the decider as to seeing someone off the council, but when it says guilty of public comment, the result of which, blah, 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 is that suggesting that they're the ones determining guilt, or that if someone is found guilty of something in an actual court, that they can then remove that person from the council?
Well, it starts by saying, majority of the council may, after investigation and hearing, declare a vacancy, and then gives those things. So it's the town council who is making the
Yeah.
decision, whether it's attendance at a meeting, or it's lack of respect, or,
I think to your point, Phil, I think that the thing that ruffles our feathers is that word guilt. Got to get rid of it. I mean, if you think back,
You don't need it. You could just say public comment that results in a
Right.
disrespect. It says the same thing, it has the same meaning.
But my concern with that is that you get 4 counselors that don't like one counselor, and they're all of a sudden like, you know what? That person was at the Legion pretty late that night. I don't think that's very respectful. That shines a bad light on us. They're out. That's my concern.
But as a matter of fact, if we look back on the history of the council, there's been some pretty outstanding folks on it.
Yeah,
And
it might be.
we've used good judgment, and I think that concept just needs to apply here.
Yeah, and you gotta remember, these are all public. I mean, all these things about the people ganging up on somebody, they have to do it on TV.
Right.
It's a little different. It's not a backroom deal. I'm not saying they can't do it, but it makes it harder.
I mean, this might make me feel a little better at the start of that sentence. A majority of the council may, after investigation and hearing, adjust that to say a majority of the council may, after investigation and public hearing, declare a vacancy. So you can't have if you're gonna go this way, you can't do it non-public.
You mean, well,
Problem is, you got RSA 92.
right. you can't-
Yeah, you're discussing
A3C, which is
personnel.
like, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, no, you can't. No, you're right. Elected officials. If you're an elected official, that doesn't apply to you.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, that,
Can
Say-
I chime in?
Yeah.
yes,
I do think that there's a provision in that RSA for affecting a person's reputation. And so I do think that could happen in a non-public meeting. I also think that maybe this is something we need to do a little more research on,
Yeah.
and how other charters, because what I think is missing is the process, right? Like, so how would that look? Should there be an ethics committee? Should there, in such, so it'd be interesting to see how other charters manage
Yeah.
this situation.
So I think I'm gonna channel Chris Hawkins and say, like, we don't talk process here. We talk like that. But like, I agree. Like, there could be some delineation of some form of like guidance to the process. So do we put a pin into this one?
I did.
And say we
Yes.
research. Okay.
Put down other charters and get possible legal opinion.
3.5 vacancies.
works for me.
It has worked for us up to this point as a community. Salaries and compensation.
It's both woefully inadequate and also people would lose their minds if we raised it, so.
I would like to raise it. And the reason I'd like to raise it, even though I'm a member of the council, and if we vote on it, I will abstain. I was soliciting with another former counselor, I was talking to somebody about joining the town council. And he mentioned that, well, you get $1,500, right? And to most people, that's not going to make or break any decision. I mean, if you made it 3,000, it's not going to make or break any decision. But the difference between me and him was he had a girlfriend, I had a wife. So he's a little more interested in keeping the home life a little more active, right? And so when you're in the town council, you can be attending a meeting a week, for a year, right? And if you can then turn around and say, well, I'm paying the cable bill or something like that, it's a way to make somebody say, oh, okay, you're gone one night a week, but we're getting free cable, right? And I think it would encourage people to then go a second year, go a third term, to extend their term. I think that the initial maybe isn't going to do it, but when people, it gives the spouse something to say, which I hadn't thought about before, with respect to that. And the difference in money here for the town, this is mouse nuts, right? I mean, this is nothing, right? And the $1,500 was set probably a long time ago. And if we do inflation, adjusted, it would probably be a lot higher. And it is something that people consider as a way to say, well, okay, I'm gone a lot, but, you know, we're actually getting something for it.
I think this is one of those kinds of things where we ought to look at what are other towns doing in terms of, we should be, I think, competitive. I have no idea with what other towns do.
Yeah.
I also think it goes in, which we've been talking about earlier, and that is recognition. I think increasing it without increasing recognition isn't going to make much of a difference.
I don't fully understand what that means.
Commissioner Bailey?
Well, I don't know that we should really even be talking about that. We should be talking about what the charter, now we want to change that. I think that's for a council.
We said it, though. We said it, the charter sets it. So they don't get to change their compensation. The charter delineates their compensation.
So it was 1,100 in 2017.
I'm disinclined to, no, I understand the argument, but like in the spirit of volunteerism, I think that we haven't had an issue getting people to run for the major boards in the community. I think it's been some of the small, the budget committee, which I know is a major board, that this certainly has not been something that has been prevented us from getting candidates for the roles. I know it's small money, it's small, but to me, this the money is not why people run for this office.
I agree.
I thought it said somewhere else in the charter, though, that the town council was the one that had to propose it. Maybe I'm wrong and
No,
my
I think
brain
it's
is
said
going.
here, it's said here.
Yeah, I think this is the only thing that really.
Well, I would suggest we had one suggestion from Commissioner Zink that we at least look at what other towns are doing, size and government composition. So I'll put that note in there. We can at least check that. How does that sound?
I'd say that's fine by me. I would say this is already higher than what the school board is at, and I think the school board, just from having served on both, because there's only 5 school board members, you end up on a lot more committees and a lot more time. And
Well, I was just impressed that this guy, who was a really good school, member, it really mattered to him. And I thought, well, gee, that's, sometimes it's the exceptions that you should be looking at, not the general.
And if we competitively find that we're overpaying,
Look at that. Thing is, what's different between this and say a town manager pay or a police pay is we're not competing with people out of town to run for based on pay, right? That's a little bit
no,
different.
I agree, but it's still kind of
Just to see, yeah.
yeah.
Okay. We will do a review of other charters and see what we see there. Section 3.7. Powers, meetings, and rules of procedure.
A lot of it's RSA. I mean, as far as the meeting posting and all of that. And some of the procedures as well, I believe.
I don't see anything
Yeah,
problematic here.
I didn't find anything, any issue here.
I actually wish more was done by roll call vote than. So,
Yeah, I forgot roll call vote for everything. All right, ordinance and resolutions. This is too big for me to put on the screen at once, so people who are reading along at home, I'll try to take a reasonable pace.
I'm trying
We'll
to.
go paragraph by
remember-
paragraph, maybe. A?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, no, mine was on paragraph.
Okay,
F.
any issues with paragraph A? Excellent. Paragraph B. issues?
Yes, I ju-
Oh,
Phil,
yep.
I was just looking for it. I hate to jump, but just so we have some connection, section 6.3 compensation.
I don't want to just jump all the way on here. So.
I hear you. It says the compensation of any elected official board. Can you see it?
Yep, board, commission members, and other officers appointed solely by the council shall be established and modified. So what that is saying is that boards appointed by the council, if there's going to be compensation, the council sets that rate, not
Okay.
their own rate,
Not their own? Okay.
because they are not appointed by themselves.
Okay.
That's my read of it, at least. So.
Yeah, and I think that's good. I mean, people shouldn't be able to adjust their own salary.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, paragraph B. Any concerns with paragraph B or edits? All right, scrolling up, paragraph C. So one concern I have with this, the publication and a notice of any paper distributed in the town of Newmarket. Like, are there papers that, I guess it's distributed to the town of Newmarket, not covering the town of Newmarket?
There's another section or two that has different language than this.
Yeah.
This at least puts in the website. The other one just says newspapers. I wonder if legally the newsletter, since we don't have a town newspaper,
Yeah,
is more of an official wording, but it's also later on used once or twice on the notification things.
so this calls the website as like a public, as like a public venue posting, because they have to post it in 2 public venues, one of which is the website.
And
But
the
it's
newsletter is different than the website.
So, but this really says, the way I read this, and please if other people read it differently, is that it has to go in a paper as well as, which is, and posting it 2 other places, one of which can be the website. Is posting things in the newspaper really,
I'm probably not the best to opine
Yeah.
on
Yeah,
this. I would
nobody's
say no,
covering
but-
a newspaper, at least as far as Steve, I think, he said Newmarket is not really covered by
it's
any
covering us, so
newspaper.
we would just have to like, take an ad out to put the thing?
Well,
Or
that's-
you can
yeah,
say,
that's the question I have is, what are we doing now? Are we placing an
Yeah.
ad in Foster's
Yep.
or Exeter's newspapers? Because those are the 2, I think that, or I guess you could say Portsmouth Herald too. I think those are the only 3 newspapers that are in this area that get delivered to Newmarket.
well, and that's only on a voluntary basis for people who want a subscription. That's why I'm wondering whether the Newmarket newsletter, in and of itself, would be a substitute for the newspaper, since people can sign up to get the newsletter, and it's a weekly established thing from the town, rather than no other newspaper is bound to cover Newmarket on a regular basis.
So maybe the note is, 1, to find out what the current practice is,
Yep.
and 2, the newspaper thing to me is like, are we required by RSA at this point to continue to do it in a newspaper?
That's a good question.
Because there might be that language in the RSA, and like, I'm not anti-newspaper, but I don't think we're getting the widest swath of people knowing about this based on newspaper.
And
Well, and if you're
Yeah.
saying posting it, you're posting it in a newspaper that doesn't cover the town, that covers another town, so are you actually getting to the voters?
Yeah, this is just saying that it's distributed in Newmarket, which means just like, what does that even mean? Like, you
Yeah.
can get it here?
The Boston
Well, New York
Globe is
Times.
easier to get here than a
Yeah.
lot
You
of
can get the
New
Globe
Hampshire
here.
papers.
Yeah, right?
You can get the Wall Street Journal, everything, The Economist.
And
Okay.
you can get the Times online. So if we need to keep it, the newsletter may be a better descriptor and substitute for it. If we don't need to keep it, it may be worth asking the question.
For me, I think it gets to the public comment we had here, like, are we actually getting information out in places people see it? Which I know has been a challenge for us, even getting word about the Charter Commission out, and is, even if there's not an RSA requiring the newspaper, what might we want to call out in this space as like which again is our best guess based on the fact that we were also having trouble getting attention, people's eyeballs, is the place to post it.
I mean, the places I would think that the town can post would be the town website, the newsletter, and the TV station. Those are the three forums that the town has some control over.
In the signs.
And the signs, that's
We're
true.
gonna use those for this, and the two signs that I thought we were gonna use, I haven't seen talking about the Charter Commission going there. I was gonna bring that up in new business, but correct, those three venues plus the signs.
But this is a question of do we have to?
Right, yeah, the first question is, do we have to have it in a newspaper? The second question is, what, are there other things we want to codify in here
Right.
to ensure that we're trying to get as many eyeballs as possible? Sorry, Tony.
I was just gonna say that this is for posting an ordinance.
Yeah.
So the
Right.
the signs wouldn't apply.
They would not, right? An ordinance requires a newspaper, according to this, a newspaper and two public would the signs not apply? Because two public places, would that be a, no, because they don't have a text, they need a
Yeah.
text.
Yeah, you can't put an ordinance on
Yeah.
on the.
You could try to run an ordinance
That's
over
really
that.
gonna mess with traffic.
Yeah. Okay. So the question is, do we have, what are we doing now? And is the newspaper required by statute?
Yeah.
Well, I have yet to see an ordinance in a newspaper.
I mean, I used to see the old Newmarket Times, like the Stone Church used to have a stack of them and read through them and see ordinances from like the 60s in there, but I still have some of those on one.
Yeah, and-
Well, we'll find that out.
Yeah.
right, and I have no idea whether this is a legal definition these days, but if newspaper is, maybe we should find out whether newsletter for a town, if it's not covered by a paper, at least satisfies the newspaper.
Like, does it satisfy a public posting? I think
Yeah.
that's the thing,
Yeah.
like, would that qualify as a public
Oh,
posting?
except
Which
I
might be a
use the
lawyer's
term
posting.
newspaper in here, so either we should delete the newspaper.
Yeah, I think that's what we definitely have on our list. I put
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
down is, do we need to keep, because in 10 years, there may not be any print newspapers left in
Right.
this area,
Yeah.
so.
Agreed.
I know, we usually don't take public comment like during this, but if there is something that's super pressing we're missing here, sorry, is that okay to everyone? Like,
Yeah.
I
Yes.
know it's totally irregular.
Yeah.
Yes, and my wife just told me people watching from TV can't do this. So I'm sorry, I don't understand the format yet, but it doesn't say newspaper. It says any paper.
Okay.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, we'll get the perspective. Paragraph D. Concerns with paragraph D.
None.
Paragraph E.
Seems reasonable.
Any issues with it? Seeing none, paragraph F.
Isn't this
These are-
one largely redundant to
The
be?
resolutions are different than ordinances.
Okay, all right, that's a good point.
So, as I recall, and I'm gonna look to former counselors here, or people who are like, the ordinances are like law, right? They're like the town law, and the resolutions tend to be more things that are like, I don't wanna say like, I'm trying to find the right
We
word.
appreciate Flag Day.
Yeah, there we go, yeah, like. so-
Statements of,
Statements of something, but it's not
Right.
like a law that has to be enforced
Right.
following
Kind
it.
of touchy-feely stuff.
Yeah, probably closer.
All right,
Well, not necessarily though. I mean, resolutions are, like, we're gonna buy a new truck. Or,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
I mean, it's all the business of the town.
As opposed to a law of the town, which is what the ordinances are.
Yeah.
Then I'll ask the question, does it spell out clearly enough when a resolution is required? Because you're saying it goes down to the level of a purchase. of something by the town. So is this specific enough to, or is it better not to be that specific?
No, it just says that the resolution can't have more than one subject. You know, each truck has to have its own resolution if you're gonna buy trucks, right?
Okay.
And it has to be numbered, it has to be identified with a number and a title. And it has to have an explanation.
Okay.
I think that my question would be to your point, do we need to define resolution?
I mean, is that in statute?
Don't know.
Well, we use them, I think we have to define them. That means, this is a very good definition of a resolution
Where?
in F.
So it should be introduced in writing. It contained only one subject, clearly expressed. Yeah, it is a definition. You're right.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to look up. Oh,
And like every town council meeting has 3 or 4 of those.
So I think RSA, I'm sorry, I'm trying to Google quickly on my phone here, does define the difference between the two. I'd have to like actually do more research on it, but we should look.
Okay, I'll put that as a pin.
.9, emergency ordinances.
Just sitting there innocently, not knowing what was coming.
So this one spans 2 pages, so.
So who was in the council? Tony, were you council chair in 2020? 21? How did this work for you when you had to do stuff related to the pandemic?
I mean, it basically worked as written. And it, you know, people can argue whether or not it was the right thing that we did, but we did have emergency ordinances that came up during that time. And we followed this process and I think it worked.
It was some of the most interesting meetings we had.
Right?
You don't say.
True.
I can't see anything in particular I'd change.
I think you need the emergency ordinance for like that sort of circumstance, but I just remember when we were on the council, there was a period where I felt like we're doing a lot of like emergency ordinance voting, like that didn't feel felt more like there was a lack of preparation on the administration side. It was just like, it was being used for more, or maybe it was a different, like it was like ordinance without like, with one, like on the same day, it was introduced and then we had to vote for it. I think it was before even you joined, Tony.
Well, but this, I mean, there's that provision in
The
here that
61st
says
day.
it must be accompanied by a declaration of an emergency. So
Yeah, this
that
might
would
be-
seem to preclude, you know, I spilled my coffee, emergency, let's,
Oh no, what we had to do was suspend the rules. We kept voting to suspend the rules of like,
okay.
we're gonna not do it like this or that, and we're
Yeah,
not gonna do a
that
second
happens,
hearing.
that
The
happens.
second, the suspending the rules, that's different than the emergency
We do
ordinance.
that 2 or 3 times a year.
Yeah, that always just to me is like
Yeah.
poor planning, and also we gotta suspend
Well, a
the
lot of
rules.
times it's, the ones that we frequently do are, the government comes out with some thing you can bid on, and you have to bid on it now.
Yeah,
And so we don't have the time to do 2 meetings.
okay. Different than emergency ordinance though.
Yeah, that's not an emergency ordinance, yeah.
How about emergency appropriations, 3.10?
So we're check marking
Do you have any challenges with it?
3.9, I'm saying, the previous one.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
I don't have any issue with this.
I mean, it's never happened
Yeah,
for a while.
probably one of the few places in here that enumerates a power of the budget committee.
Yeah. So, that actually, would we potentially, in form of government adjustments, require, and like, should that happen, not saying that will, require a potential edit to 310?
Yes, I mean,
See what I'm saying?
if you don't have a
Budget
budget
committee,
committee for
then you're
whatever
gonna have to-
reason,
yeah,
then
yeah.
yeah, this has to get edited.
So I think we might have to like say okay pending like
Yeah.
a form of government proposed change. Everyone good with that?
Yeah.
I'm making the note, yeah.
3.11 codification of ordinances.
Seems reasonable.
Yeah, I mean,
Are we in fact following that, or?
we were doing that when I was in the council. Yeah. I'm assuming they're still doing it. Scott?
I don't know, I haven't been on the council for 10 years.
Oh, so you haven't hit like the number up.
Yeah.
So, but I can think that it's, yeah, maybe we just hit that window last time. Because it's funny the way this reads, right? It's like once every 10 years, sort of like codify everything, as opposed to like 10 years, like looking at it 10 years after something's been passed. But okay. Section 3.12.
Makes
Basically,
sense.
we changed them. They're still in place. Section 3.13, powers and duties.
Yeah, I mean, this is like a 14th Amendment kind of thing almost. Anything that it doesn't say otherwise is a power of
Yeah.
the council.
So, wouldn't the form of government certainly impact this?
Yeah, I mean, if you're changing the scope of the councils, I don't know.
Well,
actually,
you'd be
because-
having to change the scope of the budget committee.
Yeah, or 3.13, right? Like if it's like,
You're saying the only exception to the town council's powers is the ability to approve the budget, which is the budget committee's.
well, by town meeting.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it says a little more than that, though,
Well, I
because
agree.
other town boards that would be defined by the charter as elected would have powers, outside the purview of the council, is the way I read that, but there really aren't, since, the charter doesn't call out the planning board or the zoning board as they should be elected.
So all offices and members of all boards, commissions, and committees, and vacancies thereto shall be appointed by the council from among town residents. So if we had boards and commissions,
I'm looking at 3.12, to your point, Dan. And 3.12 is really only talking about
the council, or however you want to call it, whether it's a mayor, an alderman, it's not talking about elected officials. Which the exception is made that people vote on the budget. So I think it doesn't, the way it's written, it doesn't include all elected positions like planning board, et cetera.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I guess, so like, the planning board clearly is not appointed by the council.
Yeah, it's that last sentence that reads weird to me.
Yeah,
If we had a vacancy on this commission, would the council fill that?
that's what it says, yeah.
That's what it says to me.
Yeah,
If the planning board has a vacancy, does the council fill it?
Yeah, they do.
In the interim till the next election, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
But this is like all offices and members of all boards, commissions, and committees and vacancies thereto. So it's offices and members and vacancies shall be appointed by the council.
Unless otherwise provided by
By this
the
charter, okay.
So, again, the ones that have specific
Specific
call-outs
things
in the
enumerated in the charter. Okay, so I think this entirely, that section entirely is dependent upon what we decide with that based on.
Right.
yeah, so the planning board is in the charter.
Yeah. Totally dependent on feedback from the survey and our decisions based on that.
Yeah, I definitely put a pin in that
Yeah.
one to review anyway.
All right, 3.14, delegation of powers. How are they using that right now? I don't have an issue with it, I'm just trying to.
Just, except as provided by law, they can go to different town agencies, the town clerk's office, the police department, and say, ding, you have the power to issue dog licenses, you have the power to.
Yeah.
Is essentially that they can subordinate their things. That
Yeah,
are
I'm just
within
wondering,
their
like, how
power.
are they using it right now?
Probably exactly like that. They, rather than the council having to vote on dog licenses, they subordinate that
Yeah.
power to the
Town
clerk's
clerks.
office.
All right, inquiries and investigations.
$48 written notice. Would you maybe want to change that to, like, somehow exclude weekends and holidays? If somebody gives written notice on Thursday that we want, first of all, that would imply the council wanted to be here on Saturday.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem completely unreasonable that they, if they discover malfeasance of some
To
sort,
want
you
someone
want
to
to
come
put a stop
quickly.
to it as soon as possible.
Yeah. Thoughts on edits?
Yeah, I don't see a problem with it, other than, like I said,
Yeah.
does there need to be some reasonability wrapped around that 48 hours?
Anyone have thoughts on?
you
the
could say
48
2
hours?
business days.
Yeah. Well, you're also talking about, if it's bad, do you want to hide behind, well, it was a weekend, so we waited until Monday, type of thing? If we've concluded an investigation, I would tend to think
if it rose to the level of what this is describing, you wouldn't want to say, gee, we postponed it for 2 days because it was a weekend. Banks are open on Saturdays for transactions, and you can do things electronically on Sundays. I would
It
just,
says it'll provide written notice. Right?
Yep,
Right.
48 hours written notice of the general inquiry scope and the inquiry, which,
I'm assuming that's to the person who's the target of the inquiry.
yes, that's the way I read this.
So, that could be accomplished on a non-business day.
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
Budget work, I mean, the council does budget workshops on Saturdays, so like,
yeah.
or has in the past.
This is just describing an urgency, which I wouldn't want to say, gee, we
Yeah.
Yeah.
won't do it because it's a Saturday or something.
Tony, good? You've been quiet for a while, so I just want to make sure you're good.
It's also, I would say, like, it's a majority vote
Yeah.
that needs to, that has to initiate that, so it's not something that can happen lightly.
Yeah. All right, 3.16.
Seems reasonable.
And the not used, but in there, 3.17.
Yeah, just to go back to
Yeah.
3.16, that's interesting because I think that's something that the boards and committees struggle a little bit with, if they're supposed to enforce that, or if the town council's really like following up on it.
But do they, boards and committees know that they have the power of the council to come in and say?
No,
Right.
I think they might be, I've heard that said before, if you don't come, you're not going to be on it by just the board itself or the committee. So that's my concern, is that like if there's a formal process that someone should be following, I just want to make sure that
I guess
that's what that's saying, right? In other words, if you are running the Arts and Tourism Committee and you're the chair and people just stop showing up, you can't do anything other than go to the town council.
Well, what I see is the council will establish the rules of attendance.
Yeah.
Like, have they established those rules?
No,
Like,
no, that's, yeah, so that says you can kick them out.
Yeah, okay.
As long as that's what the rules say. I don't know
Yeah.
what those rules say.
Right, but I'm saying that just, the town council sets the rules, it doesn't.
Enforce the rules,
It doesn't
okay.
play the game, it
That-
just sets the
That's
rules of the
clear,
game.
thanks,
Yeah.
that's good
Tell you
clarification.
what, though, I've never seen those rules.
I mean, you can change one word from the town council may to the town council shall.
Well, no, we're talking about 3.16 is shall.
Oh, okay, sorry, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, we want to really stir something up around here and turn
No.
3.17 to a shall.
Yeah, no.
Okay. So 3.17.
I don't have a problem, we haven't done it, but isn't this something that comes with the territory? Or is it not, is it something that has to be granted to a town council?
So I think it's in the RSA. I don't know for sure.
Well, it's definitely referring to the
I'm going to refer to the
RSA.
RSA on the, yeah. So I believe,
It's just an option.
I think I recall the conversation in 2014 around this. Like, about the conversation of a water district, right? Like, should there be a water district? And I think that having this on here just ensures that it is known that the council has that authority, whether the council has not chosen to exercise it, but making that clear. There was a robust conversation and impassioned member of the commission, I recall, that was, that I think the commission.
Leaving that option open.
The commission agreed to like, I'll leave that option open by putting it in here. I don't think anything has changed or like there's been some misuse of this at this point that says we should strike it, although.
Yeah, I was just wondering on its origin as to whether it was part of the town council. It sounds like
it's referred to in here to let you know it's there.
It's literally like an advertisement to the council, like,
Yeah.
hey, you can do this if you want to. And I know that there was definitely like
I'm fine.
impassioned beliefs in the establishment of the water district.
It's
That
the
was
way
the-
it used to be.
Well, I mean, there's like, as someone who used to be on town water and is not on town water now, it does feel a little bit like I'm voting on water stuff, but it doesn't come out of my pocket. So, but anyway.
Though this is just not, I mean, the old was water. This would say, if you're changing the structure to make it a town council where you elect the officials and all that kind of jazz, then you'd be using one representative for this district or whatever in the concept.
Yeah, I don't know how that would, like, how the RSA 52 reads, so I'm not sure the intersection.
It's a little hard to follow.
Shocking. Shocking that RSAs are hard to
Well,
follow.
not only that, it's organized in a weird way that I couldn't actually find the word village district other than in the title.
Can we ask a lawyer if RSA 52 has changed since
That's
March of
what I wrote
2014?
down is RS 52 legal question. Definition of a village.
All right. So I'm going to take a quick pause here. We're at Article 4. How many articles are in this? We're on page 13 of 30. How do people feel? They want to plow through until 9 o'clock, seeing how far we could go? Are people like, hey, we've done well for tonight, let's call it an evening? I'm not trying to like cut it short, but I also want to make sure like we're...
Well, here's one thing too to consider, since we're committing to going back. We're gonna go back, but we're gonna go through everything and then go back to the things that we stuck the pins in, correct? Just to,
Yes.
Yeah.
then I would say, let's carry forward for at least, how many sections are there in 4?
So 4 is like, I think, just have all the town
4
manager.
is weighty,
Yeah, it's the long one, right? That's why I sort of took a pause there.
yeah,
It's got like, it's the one that has the list of all his powers. Yeah.
yeah.
All right, well, maybe that.
Like 4 is a meaty one,
I,
and I'm not sure, I don't think we'd get through it in the next 40 minutes unless we are just gonna breeze through and say like, we don't wanna change anything about the town manager's authority.
I think it's come up during a number of our meetings about the authority and roles and responsibility of town manager. I
Well-
propose that we wait.
The one thing we could say by putting a pin in this, if we wanna go on to 5, is that without the form of government, having any conversation about the administration of the town feels like out of order.
What's in 5? I can't recall now.
Sorry to anyone at home that's
Do we know
watching me
why
scroll
this
a
handouts
million.
here? I don't-
Finance, budget
Yeah.
procedures.
Just a quick question, do you know why the
is
handout's here?
finance.
Because,
I don't know.
The handout is here because this was given to me by the Energy and Environment Committee. They wanted to make sure when we did the read-through that they called out the additional responsibility that has been added on to the town manager as a result of the community power.
Thank you, I was just
Yeah.
wondering, there was no note that, this
Yeah,
came from
so,
Steve. or
sorry,
this was-
that's
okay.
the note on that. But, yeah, my thought is adjourn then, because I feel like 5 is also
Really long.
really long and also meaty in terms of, it's about the budget process.
So, can I just go to 6 real quick?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to see if there's ones that we're able to like sort of
Yeah.
knock off so that we can have longer meetings around like one chapter if it's gonna be like meaty.
6 looks quick.
I mean,
7 might also. Get the low-hanging fruit?
yeah, I'm trying to get low hanging fruit for this
Okay.
meeting. Let Tony chair the hard ones.
Excellent strategy.
With all due respect and concern for you, Tony. Sorry. So Article 6 is personnel policies. 6.1 is appointments. So I think that, yeah. Any issues with 6.1?
No, I didn't have any.
No?
6.2, the personnel plan.
So this is basically proposed by manager, approved by council,
Yeah.
a document that must exist.
I think it incorporates stuff like org structure for like
Yeah.
policies, personnel, like handbook stuff, like.
Yeah.
expect. Concerns with 6.2.
No.
So there's some things that we like suggest, like we have with the charter, like go back every so often and look at it. Like, would we want to encourage via the charter, or maybe it's just something that gets done by policy? Like, hey, the personnel plan should be reviewed every X years to make sure that it's, you know what I mean? I don't know what they're doing now, like how much of a living document it is today.
It is reviewed. The plan that Steve has for his people is reviewed periodically, like every couple of years, pretty relatively frequently by, personnel consultants type.
Okay, so it's a living document.
Yeah.
Okay. Strike that then.
Well, you can always put in the kind of statement that says should be reviewed at least every 3 years or a type of thing like that. If you want to put something in here on a generic basis from time to time that doesn't require them to do a year, but it does require them to do it within at least some time frame. I'm not suggesting it here, I'm just giving you.
Yeah, I mean, I just recall a time where the personal plan hadn't been reviewed, and it was a bit of a mess, and like, it was a whole thing to get that like back up into like usable form.
Yeah.
And so, it's not where we are today, but is there, would we want to encourage that continued review for some other unforeseen time in the future?
My concern with putting a fail-safe, at least this often, is
Yeah.
whatever number you put will become
We're gonna
practice.
Yeah.
regress to that, it's a good point, yeah.
Touche.
I wonder if it would make sense to add something where the council is provided a copy of the personnel plan annually for review, like something like that. Because I don't know that the council necessarily knows, or individual councilors necessarily know that they have that responsibility
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
and have that access.
Yeah, it's a really good point. So language along the lines of the council will review the personnel plan annually.
Yeah,
Honestly, I think it'd be good, especially for new counselors coming in. To get
yeah,
understanding of the
especially,
system.
yeah.
I think if you look to the corporate world, and to Tony's point, it's very ordinary to have a compensation committee outside the administration itself, because it can be self-serving,
Mhm.
and it can very well be used to prove a point. So I think I don't think we need the subset of a comp committee, but I think the detailed review.
But this isn't compensation, right? That's a separate topic. This is just the rules and regulations.
It's like, it's the personnel plan. It's
Yeah.
6.2 we're on. Sorry. No,
I'm sorry,
I have both of them up there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I was on 6.3, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and they normally go together, I agree. Yeah.
But I think 6.3 is one that, as a counselor, I'd certainly like to know where you get your data from, and
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
we normally get outside surveys.
done by the administration.
No, done by, paid,
Yes.
yeah. Hired by the administration, yeah.
So, are we ready to proceed on to,
6.3?
yeah, I made your note about 6.2, about the
Well, are you
review.
saying you want the annually in both 6.2 and 6.3?
No, I was just saying
Just
in
6.2.
6.2, we would make sure that the council's provided a copy of the personnel policy and the council will review it.
And the compensation is reviewed every year anyway, that's the budget.
True.
So, Are we on 6.3?
Yes,
I have a
6.3.
question on
Yes.
6.3.
Yes.
So on A, compensation of any elected officials. The only elected official I can think of that is compensated other than the town council is the town clerk, is that right? So does the town council have responsibility for reviewing the compensation for the town clerk?
Great question.
That's what this says.
Do you guys do that every year?
I know.
That's a great point.
Yeah,
I just, that was the only position I said elected
I
officials.
can't think of one either, now that
Yeah.
you mention it,
You're right.
yeah.
But
I wonder
as,
where it comes from.
We should find out what current practice is for determining their compensation.
okay, I'll put a pin in that one.
Yeah, like, I'm just really curious as to how that compensation is.
Well, I mean, we do review it, right, in the sense that when we approve the budget, we approve all the salaries.
But it's
Right.
being put in there like any other salary.
Yeah, that's right,
And not like it's a, hey, you have a charter obligation to.
yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, it isn't like we don't look at it, right, but we don't look at it specifically as a charter thing, I guess.
So, but this is not like
Somewhere for it.
this should- it should- established by resolution of the council.
Yeah,
Your vote on the budget isn't a resolution, is it?
no,
We should
no,
just look at-
because the vote of I mean, it's only I don't know what the word is, but it's a recommendation, right? Because
It goes to the voters, because the voters are the ones who,
Yeah.
yeah. That's a really good point. So, yeah, that does not sound like this.
Yeah,
Good call, Patrick. So we need to find out what's happening there. B is the point that we were talking about earlier.
yeah.
6.4. As he may direct the recipients of employment, the rates of mobilization have been approved by the town manager. So this puts the town manager is the person who sets people's compensation.
Is it, well, I don't know if it's setting the compensation or just that he has to sign off on payroll before people get paid.
Yeah, that's how I understand it.
Okay.
And I think that it's always been the bigger question of, and I don't remember as a council of looking at salary ranges and so forth, and compliance within those salary ranges. I don't even know if they have them.
This sounds like a voucher sign off now.
Oh, this is like,
Yeah.
this is,
Wouldn't it be for monthly or weekly?
yeah, this
saying,
is like,
Oh,
hey,
okay.
here's
Here's the
certified.
payroll, here's what
You're right.
we're cutting the checks.
I mean, it's almost like the way the school board does the manifest.
It's a manifest, that's
Yeah.
it, because the superintendent doesn't have this authority.
Right, exactly.
Okay,
Can we, I hate to do this,
Yeah.
go back to 6.3 for 1 second. The last sentence of B, how do people read that? No vote on this matter may be taken within 90 days of the town election. And it would seem to relate to
oh,
a
yeah.
charter amendment being approved by the voters.
That's actually, what a good point.
Does that say that you have to have a separate election on the charter amendment that can't be within 90 days of the March election?
No, it can't take effect until the first day of the next fiscal year, right?
No, I don't think so. I think it says you can't vote within 90 days of the town election.
Who can't vote?
Well, it
The
has to be
council
the,
doesn't set their compensation, the charter amendment does.
yeah, it has to be the charter voting, right? But I'm not sure what a charter vote means.
I would really love to hear from an actual legal professional on
okay.
that.
All right.
That almost feels like that sentence should be at the end of A.
Yeah.
And the other B is just the first sentence. Yeah, I would love a lawyer's opinion. That's a good
It
catch.
sounds too, like it seems like it's mostly about when that pay raise can go into effect.
Yeah, but the vote on the matter is what, so
Yeah.
if it's about their council members' pay, but it's only set by charter.
Yeah, I'm not sure what
They
that
wouldn't have to
no
vote on
vote
it.
is referring to, on what matter.
Yeah,
Is
Well, it has to be a charter vote on salary for the council.
so basically, is this saying that like a new council can't sit and then immediately propose a charter amendment that says that they could get more money? I think a lawyer needs to tell us what
Yeah.
this means.
That's a good question.
Or, I mean, it looks like this was added in 2014, so,
Yeah, but that, I don't remember that.
yeah.
I remember the village district conversation. I do not remember this one.
Yeah.
Well, is there also some
Important stuff.
90-day thing about March to July 1st? That's in here as well, because that's the beginning of the fiscal year, as you said. That would be a fiscal year.
Yeah,
thing.
but the-
I
I
like the way
definitely
this
got
one
it
thinks.
down
Yeah,
for,
but the election is usually the beginning of March,
Yeah.
which is gonna get you to the beginning of June,
Right.
not May, not July.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why it's there, maybe
Yeah, we should
somebody
find
will.
out.
Well, to me, it would give you the window of June to actually have a vote, which is 90 days after
who would need to
March,
vote?
but before the fiscal year.
If there's a charter commission,
Yeah.
a charter amendment, who's voting on what matter?
it's just not
Yeah,
very
I mean, I
clear.
think at the very least, you can say that this is incredibly unclear
It's
as
very
to what it's
unclear.
talking
Well,
about.
As we're
Have to
making
hold
up, why
those
would they have?
2014 members accountable.
I know! Ah, those clowns in 2014.
There was somebody at some point who had a reason for this. right?
Well, I'm wondering, I'm struggling with it too, and I was here, but you're not voting yourself immediately
Yeah.
a pay raise. Is that what it's?
Something,
wondering what
that's
this-
somehow what it means.
I
yeah.
think that's what it is. and it's-
Yeah.
We're not gonna come in immediately and give ourselves a pay
Yeah.
raise. It's gonna take at least a year for,
But I didn't think they could give themselves a pay
They
raise.
can't.
Right.
The no vote on this matter, like who is taking the vote? Because the council can't vote on their pay raise. It has to be by charter amendment.
But the council can propose charter amendments and vote on charter amendments.
So what this is
Yeah.
suggesting is that they may not propose a charter amendment within 90 days. Like they
Right.
all get in office and they're like, we need to make $100,000 a year.
but I think that was, as I recall, that was the concern.
If that's the, I mean, if that's the case, make the sentence say
Make
that.
it say
Yeah,
that.
let's just
Yeah.
clarify it a
Yeah.
little
It's kind of
better.
it's kind of an odd,
It's an odd, yeah.
but I think that was.
No, you've been on these, you and Tony both been on before we went to the charter, right?
Yeah,
How hard is it to go back and find notes and see what?
I'm sure we could go back to the minutes. Like I was also thinking, can we go back 2 charters? And again, if I wasn't broadcasting, so I wouldn't want people to
Yeah,
flick out.
just,
Just to be like, is that a vestige of 2 charters ago? We amended something in the charter and like that sentence sort of like hung out. Like, I don't like, right, I think that we need to get a little forensic.
yeah, because we would have a red line document, anything we change.
I guarantee if Chris Hawkins is here, he'd pull up his red line document right
That's what I was
now.
gonna say. Chris is the missing
Yeah.
piece of the puzzle, maybe, so
Yep.
we'll get him back.
Yeah.
And,
We said a lawyer, he's a lawyer.
all right.
All right. All right, everyone, how many paragraphs are in 7?
7 of them.
Okay,
Yeah.
Let's push through and see if we can do
all
it.
right,
Yeah, this looks pretty easy.
let's do it. I'm at 31% on this battery, folks, so let's.
That'll
Technology
determine
might
it.
drive us out.
Yeah.
All right, conditions for holding office. I'm gonna take this one as a slight here.
Yeah, it looks, I agree with all the above.
Any
Okay.
issues with this? 7.2, conflicts of interest.
Makes sense. to
Fine.
me.
I'm surprised there's not a
That's-
RSA on that, too.
Look, yeah, that's weird.
Well, whether it's
Oh, wait.
followed
Maybe,
explicitly.
is that, no, there's still nothing.
Yeah,
there.
I'm surprised too. That's a pretty fundamental one.
Yeah.
Uh, 7.3.
question on that.
Makes sense.
That makes sense.
Pretty simple. It's a nice broad definition in B.
Yep.
Ascendance. You don't see the word ascendant. 7.4.
Can't use the town mowing machine? Unless approved.
What's fun, like, so if a town councilor wanted to have a birthday party at the rec pavilion by the water, by the splash pad, would they have to get the council's approval?
Well, it doesn't say that the council can't delegate that authority.
There you go, because they can
which,
delegate, yeah.
You know, they can delegate to the
That's
rep
Amy,
that
yeah.
Yeah.
you set the rules for.
Section 7.5.
7 point, it brings up the question, is there a requirement that there's reporting of gifts, whether it's below the threshold or above the threshold, or is it, I'm just sort of looking at this saying, in a corporate environment, you usually would be required to state the gift, and if it was over a certain amount or whatever, donate it to a local charity. But you'd have the process that would ask the question, have you received any gifts and of what?
Yeah, this says nothing at all.
This is no gifts.
It says you can't accept them,
Which could be.
but there's
construed-
no reporting that you were offered or refused or,
What's the accountability mechanism?
yeah.
So, like, is that a charter thing, or is that a process thing that we should ensure?
Well,
that
I
the
was
process-
just bringing up the process,
yeah.
saying, is there something that says, I signed off, I received no gifts this year? And that's part of the annual contract or?
Well, that could be in the policy, the personnel policy.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
yeah,
that
the
would-
personnel policy wouldn't get to elected or appointed officer. That would get to the employees of the town.
Right,
but
that's
not
true,
to
yeah.
elected.
It was definitely a process question, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
it came up saying, how would you know to begin with unless you had a process? And
Can we maybe ask if there was any documented process for 7.5?
yeah, I'm fine with it as the
Well, because if
policy.
there's not a documented process, I wonder if we could amend the charter to require a documented process.
I got it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we could do that even if one exists, because,
That's true, yeah. Yeah, we certainly won't want to outline it,
Yeah.
but saying like there needs to be a process for accountability,
yeah.
which there may be in the personnel plan, but probably doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't know about elected.
Yeah, I think an annual thing where you sign, I didn't accept a gift, that's a reasonable thing to ask.
Okay. 7.6, disposition of fees.
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Yeah. 6.7, misuse of information. Seems straightforward. What do you think?
Yeah, Wall Street, kind of.
I know, yeah, we're all like Wolf of Wall Street. I mean. Okay.
All right,
How do people feel about where we are?
we made progress.
We did well.
We got the process started.
We're at a good stopping point.
Madam Chair, Tony, I know you can't chair the meeting, but do you have any thoughts? Or
I do have a couple, actually. I think we're in a great place. I also invited, I talked to Al last week or the week before, and we talked about, we revisited the idea of having Steve and Todd Allen come to an upcoming meeting. So they are both going to come to our next meeting. So I think if we kind of got together some of these questions for Steve in particular, they wouldn't necessarily apply to Todd, obviously, but for Steve, we can get some clarification, like what's in the personnel policy, how, those kinds of questions, just to make life a little easier, and to help direct the conversation. Because I think that's going to be really important, because we still have a lot of work to do, and as much as it's important to talk to both Todd and Steve, and I think it'll be really powerful to have them together, but we need to keep our conversation focused and not waste time. No, I don't want to waste their time, but I don't want to waste our time, because we only have a handful of meetings left.
So I kept notes of all the ones that we put a pin in with legal question. So I will include that when I send out the minutes. So that's the list that we're committed to.
Getting back to your point, does the commission believe it appropriate to query both the superintendent and the town manager about issues, particularly the town manager, of course, issues that are of priority to them?
Same.
As within the charter, are the things that, again, particularly the town manager sees as being issues that make the operation of the town less efficient than it could be? I'm not ringing anybody's bell here. I don't know how to say it any differently.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a guy that has to live with this stuff all the time. What is it within the town charter that would make their job easier, even as it relates to things like the budget committee, their perspective on that? And as it relates to the town and the school, I think at least when I had a discussion with Todd, he felt as though there was some budgetary matters between the town and the school that could be better managed. So question number one is the operation of the town charter from the town manager's standpoint. Item number two, if there are issues that could be more efficient, better managed as it relates to the budget between the school and the town.
Well, there is the item early on that we saw that talked about it's a voluntary basis for the school and the town to work together for efficiency.
Right.
But it's just voluntary, and we created that in there, and we've also created that one meeting a year. I don't think there's any teeth, and I thought the only thing we could do in the charter, I'm not speaking against it, I would love to have that. That's why we did it 10 years ago, was trying to push that together. There's nothing that forces the school board. We have to invite them from the town charter, if I understand it, and they can say no. And there's no mechanics that say they have to come to the table, whether it's snow plowing or ordering paper.
So I wonder what we could offer, though, is a question of, around that paragraph, like, how, based on the current charter language, from their perspective, like, how might we massage that language to help create greater, like, ability for them, if at all, to collaborate more effectively?
Yeah.
Right? Like, I think that, because they're ultimately going to have to administer whatever's in, for Steve, the town manager is, that, and is there something we could do within that language to help make that collaboration easier? I'd love both their perspectives.
Yeah, section 1.5, by the
Yeah.
way, which we went over before, is the only one that mentions school.
Because there's no purview over the school.
Right.
Yeah.
But it talks about that there can be cooperation for efficiency reasons on operating expenses, et cetera. I think that's the only place.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I can't speak for Todd. Speaking just solely for myself, a thing I feel like personally, and this comes as much from being on the budget committee as from being on the school board, that has somewhat been missing is a sort of a collaborative look forward between the town and the school district on spending, because the taxpayer is ultimately one pocket. And the worst case scenario is completely independent of one another and with all the best intentions, the school board and the council come in the same year asking for big things that maybe if there was more of a collaborative look at the next 3, 5, 7 years, you might say, you know what, maybe we can work the ladder in such a way that both bodies aren't coming to the voters asking for substantial amounts of money at the same time. You know, there's that, and then there are just, you know, items of general interest and efficiency that seem difficult to work out at the level that they get pushed down to. I'll give you something that's one of my personal bugbears, is the rec fields. By the end of every soccer season, those fields are dangerous. Somebody's going to get badly hurt playing soccer on those fields at some point because they get chewed up and chewed up. But you go to the rec department and you say, hey, could we redo the drainage on the fields so they're not a soppy mess by October? Oh, well, you know, the school district plays soccer on it. You go to the school district, they say, well, we don't maintain it. The rec department does that. And neither perspective is actually addressing the fact that somebody's going to end up with a busted knee or a broken leg sooner or later if we don't come to a collective version of what to do about the problem. So, I mean, those are just two things that jump out at me that, and again, the charter's kind of a blunt instrument to try to fix that. You can tell people they have to have a meeting, but you can't, it would be hard to my mind to write something articulate that says you need to work together on a multi-year plan to figure out how to ladder in big budgetary items.
Well, some of the discussion we had early on was, what do you take the planning, the CIP, the budget process, the school and the town, and you put those 5 groups together saying, I think the original discussion that we said, let's postpone that till we get into the charter, was what's the process that should go on that ends up reporting to, are you following the master plan? Is the CIP coordinated? What are the goals we mentioned for both the school or the town against the master plan or the CIP? And is there a public forum where that's discussed and those objectives? So that's something we discussed early on. We just haven't gotten to it this point.
And it may be, in retrospect, that the charter might be modified not to for the town council to invite the school board, because it's turned into, the last one was 52 minutes long. And so why do we have something in the charter that is making a request that doesn't accomplish its goal?
There could be, and that is getting, and we
Way off.
already went over 1.3, so maybe we need to go back to it, but like creating greater clarity, and perhaps that meeting, so Tony, thank you so much for bringing this up, like perhaps next meeting, we could understand some of the challenges of collaboration, that perhaps the clarity we could work into language on 1.3 that might help create more guidance for that collaboration, because look, collaboration's hard, it's hard, like, it's gonna take effort, like, and just because something's hard doesn't mean it's not the right thing to do.
Just out of curiosity, if a high school kid breaks his leg or whatever, breaks her leg on that field, who gets sued? The town or the school?
I think they'd sue both of us.
Both of
And
us.
the officials and everybody
And
involved.
HIA,
That's
yeah.
just how
Yeah.
these things happen. But I mean, to me, it's the legal liability.
Okay,
has a
so they-
lot
so they
less to
both
do with
have
it
an
than the-
incentive
than
to
the
work
moral
together.
liability to say, we're putting people on a playing surface that.
No,
is
I was
over
just
two
wondering
eyes.
if.
I wanna make sure we're not going too far
Yeah.
afield in the
Yeah.
conversation
Okay,
here,
that's
we're
good.
going way outside
Yeah.
of like that.
But a shared budget for maintenance of that between the school and the town, and just not having it in one place, ends up at least creating some accountability. As long as the school district and the organization says you can only invite, you can't enforce, not that the school, and that seems to be the texture of the town charter, is
the way
The
it's
town charter
written
can say
now.
nothing to the school district, can absolutely not dictate anything. I think that was made super clear to us.
Right. Yet we had the thing that said, can you
So-
cooperate on expenses at least and talk about it?
Well, that may be why it was so voluntary, because we can't direct.
Can't direct.
So
Oh, I
it
know,
was like,
yeah.
you know,
Tony?
So I guess I think that if there's an appetite to have more control over the school and the school district, the school budget, and those types of issues, then that's where the power of the charter, the power of our commission is we can change the form of government.
Right.
So the question is, what do we want to do? Because currently, the charter only has authority over the town. It doesn't have authority. I mean, we can't mandate that the school participates in meetings, or, you know, we can't mandate anything of the school district. I personally don't think that we should be. I think that, I think it should stay the town and the school district. But that's a conversation that we can have, but that's how we have that conversation, in my mind.
Recognizing that even if we change to a city form of government, doesn't it still require the legislator to allow to bring the school and the town together? I thought that's what was briefed to us the last couple of times we asked that question.
Right.
Right.
Right, some of the surveys might dictate that, right? We'll see what people are saying.
Right, but you also, the only other thing I can think of is to say on the town side, couldn't put in the charter, there should be a report done by the town every year on what shared facilities and expenses have been done by the school and the town. Where have they cooperated, where haven't they? Should they have goals each year to do that? That's not saying the school can't still say no, but it's saying us as town people, we'd like you, we understand the separation if we don't want to change the government, but give us a break, and if there's some shared expenses or liability things.
So,
we can get.
I mean, I think that there's a the assumption baked into that, though, that the school is not very collaborative, and I would say that is not the current administration of this school. I'd say the current school board and administration actually really collaborative.
I'm not suggesting that, I'm just saying it hasn't been there in the past.
Yeah, I mean, you can imagine the school district being taken over by bridge trolls who want nothing to do with the town. That's something to try to guard against, but the track record of the 52-minute meeting, I recall being part of that, and the reason that it happened is because the town showed up with a slide deck that really had nothing to do with any sort of collaborative discussion of
Well,
planning. It was.
Let me just correct
you
that. The reason it was 52 minutes, the town council scheduled their meeting an hour later.
That's right.
So,
Yeah.
this collaborate, I've been involved in this for 20 years, and I think there's been a real interest in getting the school and the town to work better together. Certainly on the school side, we've got a great participant in that. And I think this meeting, if nothing else, will reinforce to the two CEOs that there's an interest in doing this. And if that's the least we succeed on that, good.
So, in interest of us coming up against our time, that we would have to ask to extend the meeting. I'm going to say this was new business. Is there any other new business? I think this is a good conversation.
No, just to clarify the signs, obviously I wasn't talking about having the referendums on signs, no
Yeah.
more than I was on the Charter Commission. They use the signs to tell them there's
Go to
something
this.
coming up,
Yeah.
go to this site. That's no different than what we said we're gonna do for this. Let's clarify, because there's some
noted.
cheers over here.
Some cheers where?
That's when the motion.
Any other new business? All right. Our next meeting is August 19th. Tony, I will not be present at that meeting. I'll be on vacation, so I am going to miss sounds like it will be a very robust discussion, and I'm sorry about that. But if there's no other new business, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 9 o'clock on the dot. Way to
All
go,
right.
James.